You know, this event is about ending marijuana prohibition, and we have a big vote to do that here in just less than 6 weeks. Now, we need to make sure everyone here is registered to vote. That means if you haven't had a ballot back in the mail sometime in the past year, you need to go over and register to vote. We're ready to do that. You just step right over to the booth over in the next section, register to vote. Make sure you get your family and friends to register to vote. I'm going to tell you why you should vote for Measure 91, because it's much better by far than the initiative that is in effect now in Washington. You know, Washington's law does not allow you to grow any marijuana whatsoever. And if you have more than an ounce, you are a criminal. And so this law will allow you to grow marijuana in your home and possess marijuana that you've grown in your home. That makes it far superior by itself. But in Washington, they actually have 3 levels of taxation as well. In Washington, they tax the grower, they tax the processor, and they tax the seller. And in each stage along the way, that increases the price. And so this law will only tax marijuana once, and it's a set fee tax. It's $35 an ounce. That's just a fraction of the tax in Washington. The tax in Washington is about $350 an ounce. This is about 1/10 that tax. It's a lot less than the tax in Colorado as well. Also, you only have 1 licensing fee if you want to grow, you want to process, you want to make extracts, concentrates, you want to retail. Each business will have 1 annual fee of only $1,250, which is not chump change, but it's a lot less than the current dispensary law that we have, which has a $4,000 per location tax or an annual license fee. So I really see that marijuana will easily be selling for less than $100 an ounce, maybe in some cases half that. Now the tax on trim and shake is only $10 an ounce. So, and there's a one-time tax when it is purchased. So that's only $1.25 a gram. So we'll be seeing marijuana selling for $2 or $3 a gram. It will be very, very easy to see that happen. So cannabis needs to be cheap and plentiful, and this is the best bill yet to make that so. So, you know, I urge you again to vote yes on Measure 91. You know, there are a lot of businesses here and booths, and there's twice as many over on the other side. The only reason we're able to put this on is because they come and they help share the bill to be able to make this thing happen. So we need to support our local cannabis businesses. So I urge you to visit these guys, thank them, show them some love. If you see something you like, go ahead and buy it from them. But we need to support our local cannabis businesses. And this new Measure 91 will allow a lot of mom and pop businesses to spring up. You know, it will allow economic boom here in the state of Oregon and put us on the cutting edge of exciting new economic developments. You know, I know the only reason marijuana was illegal was because it was about money and power and greed. It was about the petrochemical, pharmaceutical, military, industrial, transnational, corporate, elite, crony, capitalist ruling class creating a myth about marijuana that somehow it is bad. But we know it's not bad. Marijuana is actually good for you. You know, when I was a kid, my mom thought marijuana, like alcohol, kills your brain cells. Well, now we know that marijuana actually protects your brain cells from trauma. It will enhance your longevity. It will help you achieve homeostasis, but that's just about us individually. Marijuana will also help us achieve balance for the whole planet, because we don't have to burn petroleum for our fuel. We can replace petroleum with hemp. It makes more than 3 times more seed oil, biodiesel fuel, than any other plant. At the same time, it makes 4 times more fiber for paper, building materials, rope, canvas, lace, and linen than any other plant. At the same time, it produces more protein, digestible protein that we can eat. So it will solve so many ecological problems. And instead of our money going to the Saudi sheiks and the Nigerian despots and the Exxon and Mobil and Shell and into their Swiss bank accounts, the money will be going to our farmers who will be spending in our communities, and the wealth will be shared around. Instead of seeing the further centralization of economic control that's been going on since they prohibited hemp, this will spread the wealth and we'll see a decentralization, and all of us will benefit from that when the farmers can start spending that money in our local communities instead of to those petrochemical mega corporations. So we're going to have the next singer, as many of you might know, is Lucas Nelson and the Promise of the Real. They are an incredible band. Last night, they backed up Neil Young during his set and Willie Nelson during his set at a protest benefit in Nebraska, outside of Omaha. And that was against the Keystone Pipeline, carrying the highly toxic Canadian tar sand oil down over our main water resource in the Midwest, the Ogallala Aquifer, where it could poison the water of the whole Midwest. So last night, Lucas Nelson and Promise of the Real were working to stop the petrochemical monster corporations from polluting our earth. Tonight, they're here to support the replacement of petroleum with industrial hemp. And that is what we want to see, folks. You know, everything petroleum touches is toxified. Everything that, you know, when that Exxon Valdez dumped the load of petroleum in Prince William Sound 25 years ago in Alaska, it poisoned that whole sound for generations. If that had been hemp seed oil, it would have enriched the ecology. The birds, instead of being killed, would have been able to eat that and got nutrition, you know? So we need to replace petroleum, and hemp can do it. That's the real goal here. Remember, drugs are just a smokescreen. It's really about petrochemicals, and that's why they prohibit it, and that's why we have to legalize it. Again, I want to encourage you to support all of these businesses out here, and even the ones that aren't here. Support our community. Thanks for coming out and showing your support tonight. We have a great show for you. This band is hot. It's kind of, you'll see. So thanks for coming, and help us restore hemp. Good night.